I'm a DJ boy, going to Dcentral, making NFT from the bayou, being crypto poor but JPay rich.
Without further ado, though, for real, the #1 influencers in the world, 1.3 million on YouTube. You take into Instagram, Facebook, everything else, they are the biggest crypto influencers in this space. Altcoin Daily, Austin and Aaron Arnold.
Thank you.
Hello.
Austin, good to be here. Aaron, great to be here.
Give him a little bit more than that, guys. Come on, come on.
Woo! Yeah. I see some familiar faces. I like that. How many of you guys have seen a video, seen a tweet, Altcoin Daily in the crypto sphere? All right, the crowd came out.
Woo. Hey, I got a question. Who's the older twin?
I think it's obvious.
Is it obvious, guys? Okay, raise hands. If you think Austin is the older twin, raise your hand. Oh, nobody. You think Aaron's the older twin, raise your hand. Are they correct? Are you the older twin?
Austin.
No, it wasn't
it.
obvious. Oh, man. Okay, here's another question. Who do you think has the most movie credits, IMDb credits? Austin, with 40, you started at Cake, Bosch, Tosh 2.0. You all remember Tosh? That was awesome. Recently, you were in Deputy with Steven Dorff and 911 Lone Star with Rob Lowe, both in 2020, both Fox Productions. And Aaron, you were also in 911 Lone Star. You played conjoined twins?
That's right.
You guys are in movies together a lot. I remember I saw one on the Lifetime movie channel called Splitting Image, where it was basically like a love triangle. You mind giving me the plot of that in like an elevator pitch?
I want you to think of any standard Lifetime movie. We all love them, but think twin thriller. So that's what this was about. Young lady comes back into town, or engaged to a handsome man. Suddenly the brother comes back into town. He's a little off, and then secrets are unveiled that lead to some downfall. We don't want to spoil anything.
Everyone, if you have to watch one thing for an IMDb credit, in my opinion, it's Splitting Image. It is on YouTube. You can YouTube it afterwards. Get on that. But Aaron, you've been in some things by yourself as well. Hit Baby, you were in a Katy Perry music video. Chained by the Rhythm, you played the Spaceman.
That's right, Chained by the Rhythm. It was featuring Bob Marley's son. And yeah, I played the Spaceman. It was awesome.
And you kind of kicked off the movie career for you and your brother, right? You were doing the Aaron and Brian show back in 2015.
That's right. YouTube show back in 2015. Not as successful as Altcoin Daily, but we try and, Hollywood's interesting because it's hard to break in, especially on more professional levels. So stuff we've always done is created our own stuff. So we've done that web series, produced our own short films, some of them award-winning. We love dark comedies. Yeah.
But maybe that is your true genesis, Austin. You guys have been directors, producers, writers of your own stuff dating back towards your early film career, maybe 2016, 2017 as well, correct?
Correct. Before we were into crypto, we were, we're from Ohio originally, but we were out in LA, produced our own stuff, trying to get into other people's stuff, moving up our way in the filmmaking, acting world.
But that's a key indicator before you got into crypto. Despite being the #1 influencers in space, one of the largest YouTube channels out there, Altcoin Daily, you were actors first. So I find it very, very curious and very interesting to me that you had an insider view of how Hollywood reacted to crypto, the rise and fall, the NFT boom, all that. And we're going to get into that, how Hollywood has perceived cryptos over the years. So let's start with the boom. In 2017, when cryptocurrency finally boosted on in the mainstream, and it went to the moon. Back then, the moon was like 17K, which is December. The moon is much higher now. How did Hollywood react? Did they take notice? They were just like, oh, this crypto thing's a scam. What was Hollywood's view of crypto at the time?
I think Hollywood at the time was still pretty clueless to it. They really, everybody knows what Bitcoin is now and they know about NFTs, but back then maybe you knew about Bitcoin, and Hollywood were pretty hands-off with it. There's actually a show which we're producers on now called Cryptos, which originally tried to pitch itself back in 2018, and they that was when the bear market hit, and they didn't move forward with it because they thought crypto was done. And now 2021, people are seeing that crypto is here to stay, and they understand it more, especially with NFTs. So I mean, they understand they can make money from it. They understand there's something there, and so they're a lot more open to it.
That's interesting. So Austin, your brother touched on something. They were taking notice, and then it crashed in like January 2018. It's like, oh, it's done forever. Were there anyone in Hollywood that kind of stuck around for the ride, not just you guys that you know of, or were they just completely, hey, we're done with this until it comes back?
I would say there was individual producers and people trying to get some stuff going that knew, well, crypto is here to stay. This revolution isn't going away. But when all the prices crashed in 2018, all the studios backed away. They're like, oh, this was just a scam. We don't want to be a part of this. And like Aaron said, cut to today, 2022, every celeb has an NFT. So they're slowly realizing Bitcoin did not go away. It's only bigger. It's only stronger. They're realizing, oh, we could incorporate this. This could be part of our daily lives from a corporate side, a studio side, as well as an artist side.
Yeah, and much like cryptocurrency industry as a whole, back then, actually, I'm thinking about it, there were some like B-list, C-list crypto movies, not with strong plots, not, the strongest.
Name one.
There's this one with...
Kurt Russell.
Yeah, Kurt Russell. I forget what it was called. But it was more of like a bottom-down thing back then, just like crypto itself. And then in the past couple of years, just like crypto generally, we've been seeing it, top-down, where like the big players are getting in and they're each, going towards the middle.
Everyone's going to look at that Kurt Russell crypto movie from early 2018. Maybe it gets a new lift now. But yeah, you're right. So many celebrities are having tokens now. So now that we're in the boom, like it's happening. It's kind of fall a little bit, but for the most part, it's happened. What are their views now? How are they adapting to Web3?
I mean, they realize it's not going away. And just to paint the picture for the audience, what is Web3 compared to Web 1, Web 2? Because this is what the studios are starting to realize. Web 1 was back in the late 90s, mid-90s, where it was Google, Yahoo. All the web pages were very static. You could not interact. You went down for one thing. Everybody was siloed off from each other. Web 2 is when Facebook and MySpace and LinkedIn, all these social aspects of the internet came around, and that was not only read, but that was read and write, basically interact, engage. And now cut to this year with Web 3, that's read, write, and own. So if you believe the world is trending more digital compared to where we were 10 years ago, 10 years in the future, then it's a natural progression in that digital world for you to have digital scarcity, own your own assets, just like you can do in everyday life, and that can help the studios and individual artists.
We are calling it Web3. It was like blockchain last year. Then the New Year's hit, we're all calling it Web3, which means Metaverse, NFTs, blockchain gaming, etc. So with the transition from Web 2 to Web 3 and studios now seeing there's some benefit to going that way, what portion of Web 3 are they concentrating on? Have you seen them put interest in the most?
Yeah, I mean, it's still pretty early. I mean, NFTs really only blew up in 2021, but we are seeing with collectibles, I mean, established companies like Disney with huge brands, they want to get in on that. And it's really about, people with established communities or looking to build communities that are, doing things with NFTs. And then, so it's like one aspect comes from the top down, the big corporations, they're interested in making money. The other aspect comes from the up-and-comers, the people trying to make it in the business, who are building their communities and, through tokenization, trying to give their communities value. Here's a free token, you watched my show, maybe you watched a couple of my shows, and then I'm going to, give you something cool. Or even more than that, there's like the what the Bored Apes popularized. Bored Apes, the most popular NFT brand, owning your IP. If you own that specific ape, you own the IP for that specific ape. So I think of it like George Lucas back with Star Wars. I bet he would have jumped on it immediately, saying, hey, if you own my 10,000 collection of Star Wars characters, you'll be able to use that. And, people are making Star Wars fan fiction anyway. You have the rights to actually, market that stuff. That makes the brand bigger. George Lucas gets the cut of the secondary market forever. I think with the IP.
All the Star Wars extended universe they wrote in books during the dark period between the 70s and whenever the Phantom Menace came out in 1997, those could have been canon, because those could have been leased out, the rights via NFTs to various fans. But, so you touched on two avenues there. One, a lot of studios are using Web3 products such as NFTs and even Metaverses as promotion for upcoming film and media, but also as it's getting ingrained into general lifestyles. We're hitting mass adoption. If you guys were here for the awesome mass adoption panel yesterday, you kind of know where we're going. You should have been here if you weren't. But there's going to be plot points dealing with cryptocurrency. Like, I can envision, like, in a Kevin Hart movie, he owns a Bored Ape. How do you see, like, licensing factoring in? Possibly people creating NFTs or other media in the Metaverse or NFTs or that are being licensed to studios and coming into film?
I think we are at the tip of the iceberg on what Web3, this general term, could bring to the entertainment industry from a studio, big, large corporation point of view, as well as an artist point of view. For example, your question on IP, let's just take the last Spider-Man movie. Has a huge audience, that's awesome IP, anybody would love to own that. Let's just say, right now, to put in context, right now all these studios are just, hey, this is a sort of a free mint, it's just like promotional, advertising. You get the NFT, but probably not worth anything, no utility, which is fine. It's cool to have it, that's a good first step. But what the future could bring is, let's just say, everybody that shows up to opening weekend, so true fans of Spider-Man, gets a special non-fungible token NFT. Now, not only does Marvel instantly know who their strongest community are, who the people that will be talking about Spider-Man for the next years to come, but also, let's just say, everybody that gets that NFT, now when the video game's released, man, all those people get a special skin just for showing up opening weekend. And let's just say, maybe they collab with Post Malone, who does a song on that, and all those people that showed up for opening weekend, they can prove it verifiably in the digital age. All those people get a special perk.
Co-op for seeing Star Wars on opening day?
I would love that. I think the point is the amount of utility that these people could pack in and then integrate it across all media is huge. And yes, you can do that now. You can collect email addresses, but things can be hacked, things can be changed. You have verifiable ownership online, and that's the revolution here.
And I just think that, just because you sprinkle on Web3 NFTs, obviously that doesn't make it special. It doesn't make it successful. But these people are probably going to be successful anyway. But with NFTs, with Web3, it just it streamlines it. It gets you access to your community faster. It creates revenue for you faster, and you really have to have something that's interesting, and then you can use Web3 as a tool to get bigger and better.
So I didn't shill myself, but I work for Viral Nation, which for better or worse is known as the largest influencer marketing company in the world. We have a lot of clients from the media industry coming to us with their various entertainment NFTs, but also asking us about metaverses. They want to build metaverses to associate with their movie trailers so that people who watch them can go in there, interact with other fans, and they're hoping that transitions into day one ticket sales, as you said. Do you think that's the future? Do you think more and more production studios are going to invest in that, and that's going to open up more Web3 opportunities for those that have been in the community for a while?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, having nothing to do with crypto or tokenization, the world is just trending more digital anyway. Now, you can use crypto and tokenization to actually prove you were there, prove you were watching it, and I just think it's obvious that most people are going to show off their digital items they have way more friends online than the 10 people they're going to invite over in the calendar year to see their cool collectible. And being able to get collectibles that are digital, it's like, you go to a special event and you get a trinket and that's cool, but where does it end up? Unless you're a hardcore collector, it's in your basement somewhere. Now, with digital items, it's a lot easier to store. They don't get wrecked. It's like the transfer is seamless. It doesn't if I, transfer a baseball card or something, it could get ruined, it could get wrecked. It's obvious that they're going towards the metaverse, they're going towards digital, and being able to actually have verifiable ownership is a natural integration.
Let's go behind the scenes for a little bit. You guys are obviously actors. You've been on the stage for a lot of movie sets. You've seen the trial and tribulations of actors' rights. Do you eventually think that perhaps, you guys are both SAG actors, right? You're both in the SAG?
Correct.
All right, cool. So unionized. Maybe actors and people in the movie industry getting paid in crypto, some form of token that can help boost their careers. I know a lot of actors, they're their pay is tied to ticket sales. I know Scarlett Johansson got screwed on her ticket sales because they took her film that was supposed to be released in theaters only and streamed it, and she didn't get all that revenue. Do you think that crypto can solve some of those problems?
100%, Adam.
About 120%.
Whoa. Yes, I think it could, only because on the blockchain, you have verifiability, meaning if Scarlett Johansson, for example, makes a deal where she gets a cut of the ticket sales, one, Sony or whatever the studios, Marvel, they don't want the public seeing seeing the funds, seeing all that financial information that is sort of private in a business. I get that. So it doesn't have to be a 100% public blockchain, but for these private chains, everything is verifiable, meaning maybe it's controlled by her agent, the studio, and one other third party. All that stuff's now verifiable in the digital age, where you don't have to guess anymore. You don't have to trust a centralized entity. You can verify on the blockchain.
Yeah, and even like more than just movies or TV, maybe they're broadcasting a musical show where there's different musicians coming on stage. In the future, you know, as people are monetizing attention, which right now attention is monetized online, you don't get any cut, obviously, in Web 2. In Web 3, maybe you can own more of your data and get a cut of that. But let's say there's something on TV where, you know, Katy Perry is like the big guest and there's other guests, and people are just tuning in for Katy Perry, and you can see that Katy Perry's section is getting the most attention, and Katy Perry worked out a deal where, you know, if I get, you know, this much attention, then I'm going to get paid a little bit more, and it just executes on the back end.
As actors, would you like that model? If someone tried to pay you in crypto as opposed to money, would that be something you would humor?
I mean, we certainly would, particularly Bitcoin or Ethereum or a stable coin, but even some other stuff. I think that most people, I don't know if they would, though.
We have asked YouTube publicly to pay us in Bitcoin for just like the ad revenue, and they're silent thus far. So we would love to get paid in Bitcoin.
But you don't know if others will. Do you know anyone in the industry that is a big Bitcoin supporter or a crypto supporter, an NFT supporter, or even something more niche like a Solana supporter? I'm not talking about like Sylvester Stallone getting some NFTs. I'm talking about someone who's really investing and betting on this.
Well, there are people. I found it interesting that, for instance, last year we interviewed Kevin Smith, director, on our channel, and actually at 1 o'clock we're moderating a Kevin Smith panel.
Oh, let me sell that for you. Hey, at 1 p.m. in the mainstays, Austin, Aaron, Arnold are moderating a panel with Kevin Smith, the creator of Clerks, Jay and Silent Bob, and the recent Masters of the Universe Netflix remake. Go ahead.
So definitely hit that up. But Kevin Smith, we were talking to him about crypto, obviously, and he was there to talk about NFTs. And we were asking, do you own Bitcoin? Are you a believer in Bitcoin or Ethereum? And he's like, you know, I had friends tell me about it a few years ago, and I own a little bit of it. But honestly, that was never for me. I'm not interested in finance. When NFTs came out, when collectibles came out, I got that immediately. Because he's big into comic books, the collectible lifestyle. And so what interested him more was the cultural aspect, the digital collectible aspect. And that's what we're seeing a lot of artists and creators in Hollywood actually be more interested in that than DeFi or finance.
Quentin Tarantino with those Pulp Fiction script NFTs. Yeah?
Did you buy one? Still available.
All right, so here's something that interests me. So I actually started in the gaming industry myself, and I know a lot of people grow up playing video games. They wanted a way in, but they weren't developers, whatever, but they were big into crypto. And then now all the games are institutionalizing some form of NFT, and we call it blockchain gaming in its own space. And now these crypto enthusiasts have a way to get into the game industry as blockchain advisors to establish gaming companies like Square Enix, Capcom, etc. Do you see the same thing happening to film? I know there's probably people in the audience who dreamed of getting into Hollywood at one stage. They thought their door has closed. Being into crypto and being just so knowledgeable in crypto, is there a space for them in Hollywood now?
I think the opportunities in the crypto space are huge right now, and most people just think of the opportunities, I have to buy and invest and hold and pick the right ones. Opportunities in general are huge. If you know how to code, if you want to be a content creator, whatever you're good at in the space, now is the time to get in or at least learn about more very early. You know, like the internet in the 90s, I believe. But in terms of having somebody, just a personal anecdote for us, which my brother mentioned a little earlier, we're now producing a show called Cryptos that the studios were kind of interested in years ago. They pushed it aside, in the bear market, and now they understand, well, crypto's here to stay. We were originally brought on. The main guy, the showrunner, he's a crypto nut. He's a believer. But he was like, oh, all the writers, I want to make sure the language is, true to the crypto world. I want to make sure the language in there is good. I'm a fan of you guys. I would love to bring you guys on as consultants. We had some talks. We're now producers and actors in the show as well. Hopefully, the first episode should be filmed at the very end of this year. Not our baby, but that's the plan right now, and then hopefully come out next year. So people, there's a want for knowledge out there. Oh, how do we talk about this? Kind of like Silicon Valley in the tech world. It's not going to be about crypto, but still the knowledge, the discussions in there have to be sort of true to the form. So huge opportunity, not just from an investing point of view, but also whatever you're good at.
I have to imagine that as Web3 becomes more ingrained in society and more studios are integrating it into their film productions, that the opportunity for being blockchain consultants opens up. And you have to be the number 2 guys to go to. Who else to go to than the number 1 influencers in the space who were in Hollywood first, over 60 IMDb credits between them. You're the go-to guys for consultants. I can see Kevin Smith using as blockchain consultants on a new movie. We got to get off the stage. I'm going to do some rapid fire with you guys real quick. Ready? Favorite movie? Austin, go.
So many good movies. I would say Hidden Gems I would recommend. In Bruges, that's with Colin Farrell. That's a great one. That's my one.
I saw that.
Wedding Crashers.
That's the personalities of the twins, guys. We got In Bruges, this very artsy style, and then we got Wedding Crashers, toilet humor.
Solid.
All right, let's see if let's see their favorite cryptos kind of follow the trend. Austin, favorite crypto?
Bitcoin. I hold the most of it. I'm the biggest believer in it.
Yeah, Bitcoin. And then Ethereum.
Oh, you let me down. I thought you were going to say something really niche like Doge after that. After Wedding Crashers and Doge, they go toe and toe together. All right. You guys have about 5 projects in pre-production and post-production between you. You want to give a shout-out to any of them?
I would say the biggest one that our audience would care about, and by the way, check us out on Altcoin Daily on YouTube and Twitter and socials if you don't already, but the biggest one is the show Cryptos. You can learn kind of more about it on IMDb, but still just stay tuned for the rest of the year. More information to come.
And now, the question that you hoping I wasn't going to ask you. Celebrity NFT projects, good, bad, or may? One word answer, go.
Good if done right. I think that 98% of them are not good. I think it's about how much value and how much community you build into that. I think Gary Vee's a great example of he's packing utility in, whether you get a free pass to his conventions, restaurants, whatever it is. It's how much utility. It's really you're buying into that celebrity. So if you believe in that celebrity 10 years from now, then it's great because it's about the community. If you aren't the biggest believer or if you don't have confidence in that celebrity, then I'd stay away.
Yeah, Web3 is not the special sauce that'll make it good. You have to already be good, and it can help streamline the revenue, the community, and all that stuff.
I knew better than to ask that question. I knew I wasn't going to get a single word answer from these guys. Hey, Altcoin Daily, the largest crypto influencers in the space. If you're not already following them, go to YouTube and do it right now. They're also big on Insta, Facebook. Stand up, guys.
Hey.
Play us off, DJ.
Hey, thank you, guys. Feel free to come up to us after the show. Love to talk to you.